We are so humbled to be here and grateful to have the opportunity to tell you a little bit about what New England Dance Theater does. I hope some of you have experienced some of the magic that we create in town. So that could be through attending one of our Nutcracker performances. It could be actually just seeing us in town at the holiday stroll or the Halloween parade. It could be maybe that we've seen you, or maybe you have children or grandchildren who have danced with us. But we're thrilled to be here today to tell you a little bit more about what we do. If you want to put those, I'm gonna.
You want me to advance it?
If you don't mind, that would be amazing.
He's good at it.
Okay, perfect. This is kind of what our mission statement is for New England Dance Theater. And let me start by saying that New England Dance Theater is a nonprofit organization, and we partner with the New England Academy of Dance, which is the dance school here in New Canaan, 2 locations over in the Masons Lodge and then also in the old Outback that we have recently taken over from the town. So the dance school really provides the training for all of the dancers. And what you can think about New England Dance Theater, we're really the nonprofit arm that supports all of the community-facing things that we utilize our dancers for. And really we do that because of the mission of our organization is to really provide greater access and awareness of the arts for everyone. We want to meet everyone where they are so that they can enjoy the beauty of the arts, and specifically dance. If you'll go to the next page, we really do that through 3 kind of key pillars. The first is high quality productions. So the dance school provides the training for the dancers and all of that, but what we do is then take that amazing raw talent. I mean, these dancers have such great training, great experience, and what we do is provide the kind of extras that really take that up a notch and bring New York City level productions here to New Canaan. So for instance, one of the things that we provide, that New England Dance Theater provides, is the live music for the Nutcracker. So we partnered with the Norwalk Symphony Orchestra. We started that partnership in 2017 and are so very proud to work with them. So we have 35 orchestra members who fight to get the chance to come and play in our Nutcracker. They love our partnership so much that it is really, apparently they've told us that they all want to be on the list of people who come and get to perform with our dancers. And so we are so proud of that. We are one of the only regional ballet schools in the country to perform a Nutcracker with live music, with a live symphony orchestra. And so it's amazing that you can go, right here, if my directions are correct, to the New Canaan High School and get an amazing quality production with great dancers and live music. You don't have to go into the city. It's all right here. It helps make this community so vibrant. The other thing that we do under high quality productions is we're also in charge of one of the largest assets that we have, which is our costumes. I thought about bringing one today, but with the rain and enormous tutus, we're currently renovating our tutu storage, and so they're all actually located at my house. So in fact, I brought tutus for us all to try on and share. But these tutus are the fact that our dancers, here in New Canaan get to wear these costumes is remarkable. They are the same level costumes made from the same costume mistresses that New York City Ballet buys their costumes, etc. They are beautiful works of art, these costumes. Each of these tutus can start at $1,000 for these tutus. They are gorgeous. And that is what we provide as New England Dance Theater. So again, the New England Academy of Dance is training our dancers, and we're really providing that extra to really raise the level and make the productions as high quality as we can. The middle, our second important pillar of our mission is community outreach. So it's great that we're training our dancers to, oh yeah, you can keep going. Thank you. Okay, so community outreach. If you want to go down one more. Perfect. It's great that we're training our dancers so well to be able to perform. We do the Nutcracker, we also then do a spring show, but it's even more important that we are taking what they are learning and taking that out into the community. And so we do a lot of community outreach. We want to, again, as I said before, meet people where they are. If you can't come to the theater to see us, we'll find you. So we do, we bring dance to a lot of different places. So we have a partnership with STAR, and they bring anywhere from 12 to 15 disabled adults to our studios every week for dance classes that we run during the day when our studios would otherwise be empty. It's a great way for us to utilize our space and a great way for us to be giving back to them. Mr. Ted is famous, so when he walks in the room, everybody's very excited to be able to have class with him. But we have a number of instructors who do that with us. In the summer, we do a dance program with the Carver Center, where some of our older dancers actually go. Carver Center runs a summer camp for some of their constituents, and we provide dance classes at that summer camp. And so some of our older dancers will go and teach that. It's a great opportunity for them to go and share their love of dance, but also, teaching students who wouldn't otherwise have access, and it's just a great way for us to do that. We also have a scholarship. So if we identify a student at the Carver Center who we think has an interest in continuing their training, then we have a scholarship that we provide for them to actually come and take classes full-time throughout the year. And we currently have 2 students at New England Academy of Dance who are from the Carver Center and that are on scholarship funded by the New England Dance Theater for them to continue their dance training. We also, as part of the Nutcracker, provide tickets to a lot of different nonprofits in town. So we partner with Horizons, we partner with Building One Community, we partner with a bunch of other nonprofits in town and provide tickets to our shows for people who would otherwise not be able to come and enjoy live theater. And we love that they are able to come and experience the show just as any other paying patron would come. So this year we set aside 300 tickets and filled those seats, and it was great to have all of those faces in the audience. It was great for our dancers and great for them. We also, during the pandemic, we invested in a bunch of live streaming technology because that was when no one could go to the theater, and we're continuing to use that today. So we send out live stream links to most of the senior centers in town and allow them then to be able to show our production to their residents without them having to actually come to the theater. So that this year we sent out links, and I think we reached again about 300 people who would otherwise not be able to come enjoy the show. We also sent them a recording after so that they could play it at their own time and they could enjoy the Nutcracker throughout the holiday season. So another great way that we're reaching out to the community. We participated in the New Canaan Halloween Parade and the holiday stroll, although this year, you all will remember, both got canceled due to weather. So weather permitting, we are there. It was a shame because for the Halloween Parade, we had New England Dance Theater had sponsored a master class with one of the original choreographers of the Thriller video. Oh, no. And so our girls had learned the choreography to Thriller, and we're very excited to show that off. And we were going to partner, and we had partnered with the band from the Bronx School of Music, and so they were going to play Thriller, and our girls were going to be like, in the audience of at the Halloween parade. They were going to be like dispersed, and it was going to be a little bit like a, what do they call those? A mob, like flash mob. That was like a mob scene, and that was not the word I meant. It was going to be like a flash mob, and they were going to come up, and Thriller was going to start anyway. It was going to be amazing, and then it rained. So that was too bad because they were really excited about that. But we also then do the holiday stroll where we bring some Nutcracker excerpts to that, and our dancers always love doing that. And importantly, I'm going to talk more about this at the end. We're going to talk in more detail, but we also do what we call lecture demonstrations, where we go out into the community, we bring our Nutcracker dancers and do a variety of dance demonstrations. And I'm going to give you some examples and show you some videos in a minute. And then the last piece that we focus on is a more internal piece for our dancers. It's enrichment that we provide to our dancers. Again, things that their tuition would not cover, but that we feel are really important in making them well-rounded dancers. So we do master classes. I mentioned the one thriller choreography, so you wouldn't think that a classical ballet training would necessarily also include thriller video moves, but it does. It makes them a better, well-rounded dancer. Last year, we also sponsor field trips, and last year, our company dancers, who are our oldest and sort of most talented dancers in the school, went to go see Moulin Rouge, Broadway show, which again, not necessarily classical ballet, but then they came back and we had a master class with Jessica Lee Goldman, who was the star of Moulin Rouge, and she came out here to New Canaan and did a class for our girls, which was great. So all of that is so important for our girls because obviously we're, Ted and Gina and Francis and the other instructors are teaching them classical ballet, but a well-rounded ballerina, a well-rounded dancer needs to be well-versed in all styles of dance. And so our master classes and our field trips are great ways for us to be able to supplement their training and their learning, which then does come back into our other pieces, the high quality productions and the community outreach. It just makes them better performers, better dancers, better able to go out into the community and share their love of dance. And then we do have another scholarship that we offer for our dancers that we sponsor for them to continue their training over the summer. So that is kind of how we focus and what our mission is. So you will see it's quite distinct from the training that they are getting from New England Academy of Dance. So there's sometimes always a little bit of question about the two organizations, and we really partner with them and provide all of this both to our dancers and then to our community. So this is who we are. This is our board of directors. We have a board of about 12 people. It's a working board. Everybody has a pretty big job, anything from writing grants to our treasurer, to our volunteer coordinator. We have about 20 committee chairs and over 180 volunteers that make all of this happen throughout the year. If you have a dancer at New England Academy of Dance, you are pretty much guaranteed to also be a volunteer for New England Dance Theater. We need all hands on deck all year long. So that's who we are, and that's how we make that happen. And the next slide goes through our financials. So to give you a picture, this was last year's financial summary, 2022 to 23. About $150,000 budget. That was significantly larger than usual. We had a couple of one-time gifts, including a grant, an ARPA grant for an outdoor stage, which we have used around town to provide some of these other community outreach efforts that I've talked about. And we're about to use our outdoor stage with the New Canaan Library. They opened the beautiful green space, and we're going to be one of the first organizations to get to utilize that. And some of our dancers are performing in May. And so we're taking the outdoor stage that we have, putting it on the lawn and the green at the New Canaan Library. So hopefully you'll be able to see our dancers there. But you can see from a revenue perspective, most of our funding comes from the dark blue, which is our annual appeal and our fundraising efforts. That's basically, think of that as our school families who contribute to our mission and providing all of these other opportunities for our dancers and for our community. You can see then the kind of medium blue is our grants and community partners. So in a typical year, that's anywhere from $20,000 to $25,000 that we're raising outside. And then you can see a large portion of that was restricted grants. That was kind of a one-time thing that year. It's not typical. So our budget this year would be much more around $100,000 as opposed to the $150,000. There were, for all the money that came in on those restricted grants, exactly that same dollar amount went out. So again, that was really outdoor stage and some other scholarship gifts and other things like that. But you can see that the bulk of our expenses are really in our high quality productions. So that's the sort of light blue turquoise. And the bulk of that is really the orchestra. It is not inexpensive to provide live music, 35 live musicians for 4 full-length shows in a weekend. So that is really the bulk of our expenses. And then you can see some restricted grant spend. And then our second largest category is really our outreach. And so that is everything from our STAR partnership and the disabled dance classes that we do, our summer program in Carver, our lecture demonstrations, going out to the community. And so that is a huge part of our mission, but it also is then a huge part of our expenses and what we spend our money on. So that's our financial summary for last year. I want to spend a little bit of time talking about the Nutcracker because, as Ann said, that this is our real kind of flagship thing, the thing that people maybe know us best for. I hope that you've had a chance to see it. If not, we would love to see you there this year. We're already well underway planning it. And Ted is already even thinking about the one after this year, because that will be our 40th annual Nutcracker, which is very exciting for us. So if this works, the next slide has a little clip to show you. Let's see. I have to turn the on.
Dance presents
There.
the Nutcracker. A spectacular holiday tradition for the entire family right here in Fairfield County. Now presented with live music by the Norwalk Symphony Orchestra. Come celebrate the season with the Nutcracker at New Canaan High School Theater. Tickets at NEADance.com.
So just a little taste of what happens every December. We do 5 shows.
Is that the last slide or no?
No, so if you'll go back up to slideshow at the top. And then page down. Here we go. People do know us for Nutcracker. It is a huge part of the New Canaan community and surrounding communities who come. And we do, as I mentioned, we do 4 full-length performances partnered with the Norwalk Symphony Orchestra, hosting here at the auditorium at the New Canaan High School. We also do a condensed children's show, which is a 1-hour version just of the second act, which is a more kind of family-friendly production. The patrons who come to see that are up in the aisles dancing, and it's okay to be loud. So that's a great first introduction. So if that was all we did, that would still be amazing, and we would still be bringing this amazing production to the community. But the Nutcracker for us is really at least a month long. It's not just that one weekend, and there's so much more to it. Obviously, we're so proud of the production, but there is a lot more that we do that it wraps around all of the Nutcracker that really we're so proud of. So I mentioned we give away tickets. So this year it was 300 tickets that we set aside to give to local nonprofits. There's obviously the live stream links as well. So that was 275 clients that we reached, holiday stroll. And then specifically this year we did 8 demonstrations the week after the Nutcracker. So if you can think through your calendar of what might else be going on in December. So the Nutcracker is the second weekend. The first weekend we hold one of our largest fundraisers, which is our Nutcracker Tea Party, and that takes all of our dancers, and all of our parents, and all of our volunteers. We host that at the high school. It's a ticket that sells out in typically 5 to 8 minutes. So that goes live. It is magical, but that happens the first weekend. Then that whole next week, our dancers basically move into the high school, and they're there every day, rehearsing, doing their spacing, getting the lighting correct, etc. And then on Thursday, the orchestra comes. We do our dress rehearsal with the orchestra, and then we do 5 shows that weekend. The following week, having lived in the high school the whole week and wanting to maybe do some, holiday things, our girls did 8 dance demonstrations, and they reached over 1,200 people this year. They go out every day after school and are reaching a ton of different people in our community. So if you'll go to the next slide, I can show you exactly. This was our list this year. Performances we did. So we partnered with the Norwalk Symphony Orchestra and went to one of their productions. They do the Holiday Pops, if anybody's seen that, which is on the Sunday afternoon of the weekend before our Nutcracker. We went to Waveney Care, the Conference Nursery, New Canaan Schoolhouse, New Canaan Inn, the Residence at Summer Street, at Atria Stanford, and then a production with the New Canaan Library. It looks different every year. Some years we're at the Schoolhouse Apartments, some years we're at stepping stones. Some years we're at the elementary schools, some years we're at different senior centers. Every year it kind of looks different. There's more demand for our Nutcracker lecture demonstrations than we have ability to go make happen, because after that week, school ends for the most part, and our dancers go off to various places and hopefully put their very tired feet up for a minute. And so this looks different every year who we're reaching, but we really do try to reach a wide variety of audiences. So there's seniors, there's school-aged children, etc. And we want to be sure that we're reaching anybody that we can and everybody we can. If you didn't get to come to our production, we want to bring it to you. So if you'll go down again, here's some pictures. This is at Wave Me Care. So we bring dancers, full costumes, all of our props. You can see this is from the Nutcracker. This is the Chinese dragon that comes in at the, which is the representative of the T part of the Nutcracker. We bring that with us. Other dancers, go down, there's maybe another video. So this is the Schoolhouse Apartments. So we try to make it interactive for them. We try to really, again, get them to understand that arts is, you know, such a wonderful thing, and we want them to really appreciate and love the arts as well. Here's some more photos. Again, you can see these are some of our newest costumes that are just beautiful, and just a wide variety of people that we're trying to reach with our lecture demonstrations. I think there's one last video for you. This is the Dewdrop Fairy and the Waltz of the Flowers. When we do the Waltz of the Flowers in the production, there's over 75 dancers in this particular piece, so the directors choreographed a special version that just has 8 dancers, because we can't bring 75 with us everywhere we go. So this just takes 8. So that's what I have for you. On these lecture demonstrations, this is where we were hoping to partner with you, the Rotary Club. We feel like it really aligns with your priority areas, wellness and education for your grants this year. Last year, we invested $1,700 in our lecture demonstrations. That covers the cost of transporting all of these costumes, bringing our props. Often we have, a lot of times in the, when we go and reach children, we have scarves that they wave to the Arabian dancers. So all of that is what covers all of those. That's what's included in all of those costs for us to cover. And again, this year we did 8 of these dance demonstrations. And our dancers love doing it. We typically, at each of these performances, we probably took somewhere between 20 and 25 dancers to each one. So it's a big commitment on our part, but we're so very proud of the work that we do in the community, and we're so excited to bring the arts to people who can't. We hope that all of these people then have a greater appreciation of the arts. Maybe they come see the full-length performance. Maybe they just, you know, have a better appreciation for ballet, and maybe they go see the production in New York City. We don't care how it happens, but we hope that there is some impact for them and that they're able to continue to appreciate the arts. So that's New England Dance Theater. That's our Nutcracker, and specifically our lecture demonstrations, and that's what we were hoping to partner with you all on with a potential grant. So if there's any questions, I'd be happy
I just have to say, just sometimes when I watch this, because I feel like I'm not doing enough, right? But because it feels so easy sometimes, when you're doing something that you like to do, it feels really, you know, like you're not really working hard, right? And the other thing I would like to say, just looking around the room at some of the faces that I see who have supported us over the years. Thank you. Thank you very much. for your
Thank
support.
you. I have mentioned this community about you, and you've really done an amazing job with the dance at school, and we're a better community for it. You've done a great job, buddy. Well
Thank
done.
you. Thank you.
Jennifer, this is the second time.
I know,
This
it's
month
a
I've
repeat
seen
for
it,
you.
And I enjoyed it probably even more. It is a very professional, very slick presentation. A lot of work went into that. Thank you for that. Just one question. If I go on your website and I want to buy tickets for December 2034, not 24, 34, am I guaranteed I'll see Ted dancing on stage?
So, I wanted to point that out, that in the Nutcracker video that you saw,
Yes.
everyone in the video are students of New England Academy of Dance, except for the male dancers who they hire. New England Academy of Dance hires the male dancers. But you might have noticed a cameo by Mr. Ted Thomas,
Yes.
who for years was the Arabian Prince. The Arabian Prince has been sidelined by an injury. The Arabian Prince, for as long as I have known him, has made a very strong statement in December. Typically on Sunday of the second weekend of December, in between the first and second show, the Arabian Prince has said things like, "This is my last year." And people have said to the Arabian Prince, "Really, you said that last year? And you're still wearing the gold pants." So every year, he's tried to quit, but this year, for the first year, we did hire a new Arabian Prince dancer because Ted was sidelined with an injury. I think it's gonna stick. Ted has other jobs during the weekend, so
So
he
we're only a
runs.
Sugarplum fairy.
So perhaps Mother Ginger on the stilts. There could be some other roles for him, but I think he has hung up his Arabian Prince.
There's always 2025.
Yeah, well,
It's the
if I
40-year
get back in
anniversary.
shape, I don't know.
It's the 40-year anniversary. Maybe that's the big. That's the big thing.
Yeah, Doris brought me here in '96 to do the Spanish role, right? And during the show, she said, "Oh yeah, you have to do the Nutcracker, the Arabian Prince too." So I had to learn that during the intermission, and because the guy who got hurt, who was doing it, so I learned it during the intermission and have been doing it ever since.
Did so well.
Nice work.
Yes.
The Summer Dance Festival, which you guys were part of last year, which the Historical Society gratefully gave their green for that. That was fantastic. Is that happening again this summer?
Oh yes, it is. We're doing the Fairfield County Dance Festival again, and we have 7 towns: Westport, Norwalk, Darien, Stamford, and Milford. We're going to Milford, and this year we actually are going to Middletown, Connecticut. Right? And this is a new initiative that we're doing because I've realized that we train a lot of dancers, and they go away to college, and then they come back, and there's no work here in Connecticut. There's no work for dancers. They used to go down to New York City, but New York City has gotten to a point where it's hard to be a dancer just starting off and making a living. So we're creating a professional dance avenue for the dancers and the students, the musicians and actors. When they come back, they have something to do, something to work at, right? So we're doing that. We're also going to be able to offer, with professional dancers, offer lecture demonstrations to the senior citizens facilities that happen during the day. Most of our dancers are high school students. They're in school. So now professional ballerinas, people who have trained, went to college and come back, can now go to Waveney, to the Atria, to the Greens in Westport, and present a program during the day. So the Fairfield County Dance Festival is the start of getting professionals here in our community to start dancing and working.
The Buchanan date been decided yet, or?
Well, yes. So far, I'm in the process of talking to Miss Erie here. Our dates.
No pressure.
No pressure, Miss Erie. No pressure, Nancy. But yes.
Whenever you want.
we've had, like, there was some construction going on there and all that, but yes, I have all the facilities and I've been getting grants and supporters for that festival, so yes.
And that is run through, Scott is a very busy man, that is run through the Thomas Ortiz Dance organization, not through New England Dance Theater. We sometimes will provide support to them, but yet another thing that TAC does.
Yeah, but New England Dance Theater owns the outdoor stage.
We own the outdoor stage that they use for those productions. Again, back to our financials and the outdoor stage that we use.
I have something I want to add. I think you've done a great job of talking about how important this is to our community. I'd point out that there's about 900 seats at the high school, and you fill up, what, 5 shows. If you think about what proportion of our community, we only have 7,000 houses in this town, and to sell 3,500 tickets a season means that this is one of the biggest productions, bigger than perhaps any other single production in this town. But what has not been mentioned, and maybe I have the unique perspective on this, is what you do for the dancers. I have 3 daughters, and they start out as mice, at the youngest age, and there's like 50 of them. And then there's a few, less soldiers, and they move their way up the ranks. And eventually, some of these girls decide to go do some other things. But my daughter, Rose, went all the way. This was her thing. If you're not an athlete at the high school, or you're not a musician at the high school, and you're not on stage at the high school, what else is there? New England Academy of Dance, New England Dance Theater. She went all the way. I would point out that maybe 6 girls on an average year, this is their thing. And they get trained at the very highest level. So my daughter, they get one of the 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 principal roles. That's not true at most other regional dance companies. My daughter went to Long Island, where they hire professionals for all the major roles. So point number 1, that we have our students in all the principal roles, and when they leave here, they go to the top 10 dance programs in the country. They get recruited by the best universities, Boston Ballet and where have you, and Cincinnati Ballet, where my daughter ended up. And then they get jobs in the ballet industry. And I think that's rather extraordinary. I don't think there's anybody else in Connecticut can say that they do that.
No.
So I want to thank you for training them at the very highest level to be professionals.
Thank you, John.
Thank you so
Very
much.
good. John? They're looking for new radio prints.
They are. We are in the market.
I've been training them.
I will say that as a student, you ask your daughter, and you're like, so what's that all about? And she said, don't take it for granted that Ted is in that role, because it's not the kind of thing that you want to just hire somebody, because they put it's the only moment in maybe a dancer's career where she's put up here, right, on top, and she has to rely on a complete stranger, and she's a student, and she's never been put up here before, and then she's got to entirely trust the person who puts her up here. And for 20 years, they've been trusting you. And it's a big risk to say, yeah, you're not going to be that guy anymore.